start. So bonjour tout le monde. Good morning, everyone. My name is Antoine Bergeon, and I'm the program coordinator here at the Ottawa branch. I'd like to begin by recognizing that the Ottawa branch is located on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. So we extend our respects to all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people for their valuable past, present, and future contributions to this land and our country. On behalf of the Ottawa branch, I'm pleased to welcome you to today's session, which is titled Learn How to Stay Safe in Your Own Homes with BuildABLE and AIM Fitness. So I want to welcome Catherine Bennett, Community Engagement Lead at BuildABLE. She'll go through ways to make your home safer for you and your loved ones to help maintain your independence and stay in your homes for years to come. Afterwards, Michelle Bourdeau, head trainer at AIM Fitness, will show you how to build up your strength and help you prevent falls in the future. So I want to thank Catherine and Michelle for joining us this morning for this great presentation.
Having us. Happy to be here.
I also want to give a
everyone.
special, sorry about that. I also want to give a special welcome here to anyone who is not yet a member of the association. So we do hope that these webinars will inspire you to join us. And to our existing members, we hope that these webinars will encourage you to maintain your membership. I also want to mention that closed captions are available in French and English. So to access this feature, please click on the closed captions button at the bottom of your screen. And to translate to French, you can click on the little arrow next to the closed captions button and select the option Translate. Finally, if you have any questions for Catherine and Michelle, please type them in the Q&A box on Zoom, and then they'll be able to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. So that's it for me. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to our presenters. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anton. Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful day outside, so we want to make the most of the time that you're spending with us this morning. As those of you know, I am Michelle, and we have Catherine with us today. And we're going to make sure that if you do, or if you have fallen at home, that you have a better chance moving forward from preventing them. So we don't want them to happen. That's what we're trying to make sure that we get you safe in your home.
That's right.
All right.
So start. Okay, so hi everyone, nice to meet you. Yeah, so like you said, I'm Catherine Bennett, and I'm actually a social worker by trade. I went to Carleton University way back in the day, and so I'm a local in Ottawa, and I'm happy to work with a fabulous company called BuildABLE. Not sure if you've heard of it, but I'll tell you all about it. So BuildABLE was established in 2013 by these lovely people, Kyla and Sean. And Kyla's actually a registered nurse, and she's currently a professor at U of O and Algonquin College. And she works with BuildABLE with us as well. And then Sean, her husband, is an elevator mechanic. So basically, they were doing other jobs in their life, and they realized that there was a really big gap in the skilled trades with knowledge on accessibility. So over the years, they started doing work for their friends and family, and they realized there's a really big gap. So they actually left their jobs and they formed BuildABLE. And yeah, so since then it's growing, and it's an award-winning company, and it's super great. People are always happy with being able to make renovations or modifications in their home so that they can stay there longer. So that's our goal. And yeah, so we wanted to make it safe for everyone to stay in their communities, near their workplaces, near their churches, wherever they live. So, yep, the next. Okay, so just so everyone knows, BuildABLE is Canada's only nurse-led accessible renovation contractor. So because Kyla has that background, and so basically what that means is that she actually brings all the carpenters in, all the tradespeople that we have, and myself, and she trains us on different disease pathologies and the progression that impacts their movement. So for example, let's say someone gets diagnosed with Parkinson's. She'll educate us all about Parkinson's and how that disease might progress and what that person would need in order to stay safely in their own home. Because every disease is different. Like if someone is quadriplegic, for example, they're not going to need grab bars per se. Fortunately, not able to use their arms. So we have to learn about all the different diseases. So that's one thing that really sets us apart from other contractors. And yeah, that's it.
And then this is where AIM comes in. For those of you that are new to the NAFR group, AIM has been an Ottawa-based company since 2013. And our goal is we work with seniors or 50 plus in their homes. So we want to maintain people, their abilities to stay in their own home for as long as they can. We know the importance of the peace of mind that when you are able to stay in your home amongst your things, your memories and your life, that it's so important for us to make sure that we can help you do that. So we are in-home personal trainers. We're all certified. Meg and myself are both Bone Fit certified, which means anything to do with osteoporosis. We are on the list that if you go to the osteoporosis clinic, our name is there. They will refer you to us. We are also very knowledgeable in same kind of diseases like what Catherine was saying. I have a Parkinson's patient at the moment. I've had paraplegics. I've had quadriplegics. I have had MS. We work a lot with dementia. My background is I used to work at the Ottawa Hospital in the Rehabilitation Center. So I have a lot of that, that knowledge that can be passed on and give peace of mind to kids. I find it's mostly the younger generation going for their parents. So the kids that may not live in the same city, but want to protect mom and dad and make sure that they are safe and happy still in their own home. So we also do a lot to do with heart care, hips and knee replacements, arthritis, and many, many more. We also go into the community, and like we're doing a webinar for you, Catherine and I have also done webinar or presentations together in the community at residences, at condo buildings, apartments and whatnot. And it's just about trying to give the information that you already know. There's this, like a lot of the information you're going to get today, you already know it, but hearing it again, it might be just that kind of aha moment to be like, oh, you know what? I did know that. I just need to put it into practice. So that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you guys are able to keep up with your traveling that you want to do, your hobbies, and spend quality time with your grandkids if that's, or great grandkids if that's what you want, you know, getting down on the floor and playing with them instead of sitting up on the couch and kind of wishing you could do that. So that's what we're going to do for you. I'm sure there's people, we don't get to see you during the webinar, but I'm sure there's people here that have had a fall this year. And if you had, I hope that nobody got seriously injured. If they do happen, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it could happen to someone younger, it could happen to someone older. It's just most of the time they are preventable because we're thinking and doing other things than focusing on what we should be doing. So we're carrying too much and we trip over a carpet, or we didn't see that last stair. There's just a whole bunch of other factors that come in. It's not just age. So if you've fallen, don't feel bad. It happens to everyone. The results happen over time, not overnight, and you work hard and you stay consistent and you be patient. And that is like the mantra for exercise and for fitness. Nothing happens overnight. If we had that magic wand, oh my goodness, life would be so wonderful, but we don't. So it's putting things into practice, working hard and staying consistent. That is the biggest thing. So unfortunately, this is the downfall part of our presentation. It's always the bad news, but Catherine has good news coming. So falls are the leading cause of injury amongst seniors in Canada. Falls happen to anyone in any age group, like I already said. 1 in 3 seniors fall annually. So there's many different factors for that. It's not like we live in Canada. We have snow, we have ice, we have different seasons. We have, you know, the fall when the leaves are covering the curb. You don't know there's a curb there. Like you don't know how far it is. There's so many other factors. Seniors normally stay, if they do injure themselves, in the hospital for an average of 10 days. In 10 days, you can lose a lot of muscle mass, and that is where the recovery time takes longer. So the better shape you're in before, the better you are when you come out for post-recovery. There are 8,200 falls-related visits to the ER in Ottawa. Since 2017. So we all know that the population is aging, unfortunately, but it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It doesn't have to be. The more you put into it now and prevent a fall, the better you'll be if you do fall. 85% of senior injuries are hospitalized because they do, 95% of them, they fracture their hip. You could break your wrist, you can dislocate your shoulder. And then unfortunately, 30% of the admissions to long-term care homes is because of a fall. It's just one of those things. But we're here to help prevent that.
Okay, so this is our good news. The good news is that most falls are completely preventable. So we're happy you're here to take these steps to be proactive about making a safe environment. It could make a huge difference. So even simple modifications like having a few grab bars, I brought actually some today, I'll show you, can be installed, and it can help prevent hospitalizations and early long-term care admissions. So one of my favorite quotes, Benjamin Franklin, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
So some of the factors that include falls is that we're scared of falling. So we walk a little bit more rigid. We are not taking the same steps that we used to take. Our mobility is a little bit less. We just don't do as much. So we're not moving as much. Our activities of daily living. We have a different gait. So again, our feet, our stride is not the same. We're not walking as long and as stretched out as we used to because we're scared of falling or tripping. Balance impairment. So if you're finding that your balance is not there, it's going to make you change the way you walk because you don't feel safe enough to take that nice long stride or even go very far because you're scared of falling. Visual impairments, that's another big one. For those of us that have glasses, and even those of us that have bifocals or trifocals, that last spot, we might not see that last step because it's not in the right view of the glasses that you need to be able to see, oh, there's still one more step. And we might miss that step and fall. So that is a big fear. We're scared. We have fear because we might not be as strong. My legs, they get tired if I walk. Am I going to be able to walk home? So therefore we stop doing it. But that's the wrong thing to do. You need to just keep working at it. Reaction time. So as we get older, we all know this. Someone throws a ball at you when you were younger, you could catch it, snap it out of the air, and just kind of keep on walking. Like it didn't even break stride. Now that reaction time is a little slower. And medications always add another element on top of everything. They can affect you in different ways so that you're not really able to or feel safe enough to go too far because our blood pressure, we might get dizzy, whatnot. So there's other factors, but these are the main ones that give us fear in doing our daily activities.
So, okay, so there's 4 pillars of fall prevention. So the ones that are highlighted are the ones that we're going to be focusing more on today. And we are going to touch a little bit on the other ones. So it's exercise, strength training. So Michelle's going to lead that part. And then medications, which is talked a little bit. And then getting your eyes checked, very, very important, like you mentioned. And we'll talk a little bit about nutrition a little bit later on. And then I'll talk a little bit about the home safety and home modifications that you could do in your home to keep you safe there as long as possible. Alrighty, so here's our lovely house. So 55% of all fall injuries among older adults occur inside the home, and an additional 23% happen outside, but near the home. So I wanted to ask, I guess I can't ask everyone this, but I'll ask Michelle. Which two areas of the house do most falls occur, do you think, Michelle?
I think the most is kitchens and bathrooms.
Close. You got 1, 2. Good job. Okay, so it's the bathrooms, number 1, and then stairs.
Yes.
Very good job. It can happen. Definitely kitchens can happen. So we're going to talk a little bit about things that you can do right now, like today, in your home to make it safer. So these are either free or just very affordable options. So we're going to talk about the floor and the stairs that we just talked about being very unsafe sometimes. So loose rugs or clutter on the stairs, or if anyone has any pets, like I know I have 2 cats, and sometimes when I'm walking down the stairs, the cats are just sprawled out on one of the steps, and I have to really watch not to step on them. So pets can definitely, cause a fall on the stairs or on the floor. So just be careful with them. Please remove everything off the stairs. So sometimes people put, like I know for me, I put sometimes things on the stairs with the intention to bring them up when I was going to go to the next level, but just really get those off the stairs as fast as possible. That's really important. The other thing too is like making sure, we'll cover this a little bit later too, but holding on to the handrail on your stairs. So having a power grip is really, really important. Like, I don't know if you know Dr. Nancy Edwards, she's in Ottawa. She always talks about the power grip. So it's really important that when you're going down the stairs to actually hold on tight to the handrail in case you do kind of start falling, that you have a power grip on that handrail. I just wanted to tell a little quick story that I actually was in Tremblant recently in the winter. We're gonna go skiing, and I was in like a motel, and I was going down the stairs, and I was not holding on very tight at all to the handrails, and I was kind of jogging down the stairs like quickly, and I was carrying my suitcases, my bags, just everything wrong that I preach about, and I actually tumbled down and I flew down the stairs at the motel, and luckily I didn't break anything. I think sprained my ankle, but it's that kind of situation where I was like thinking, oh my gosh, it just was a split second where I just flew down the stairs, and it could have been very, very bad. But yeah, so I know now I'm a lot more cautious. I go slowly down the stairs. I'm more like aware of the stuff I take, and I'm holding on tightly to the grip. I'm gripping the handrail. So just those are important steps. Yeah. Okay. So then in the kitchen, so just it's recommended that you put things that you use regularly is to put them at at reach, so you're able to reach them easily. You're not like lifting up, like climbing on anything to go get anything. So just have everything right, easily accessible, and make sure that the floor is like, let's say you spill something like tea or coffee or something on the floor. Make sure you wipe it up really clearly so you're not slipping later on that wet spot. Poor lighting. So I used to actually work in home care, and I used to always tell the clients that I had to make sure that they, a lot of people get up in the middle of the night to use the washroom. So I always would recommend putting like night lights along the way. Like let's say you have to go into the hallway or wherever you're going to the bathroom, and just to make sure there's lighting throughout to get the bathroom, and a little light in the bathroom, so you can see where you're going. Because a lot of times people don't see, and that's when they fall. So then again, decluttering every area, making sure that if you have any wires that they're not crossing over, like where you're walking, just make sure all the wires are behind tables, like far away. Yeah, and then poor ventilation. So just making sure that like in your bathroom that there's good ventilation, so it gets rid of all the steam and the mist, because that also causes slippery floors and can't see as well. So I would recommend that. So those are some things you could do today in your home. All right. So accessible design is good design. It benefits people who don't have disabilities as well as people who do. That's Steve Ballmer. So the next illustration will show a little bit more about this concept. So this is one of my favorite cartoons to illustrate the accessible and universal design. So this man, and he looks like they're at school, and there's a custodian that's shoveling the staircase because it had snowed. And the boy in the wheelchair says, "Could you please shovel the ramp?" And then the custodian says, "Well, all these other kids are waiting to use the stairs. So once I get through shoveling them off, then I'll come and clear the ramp for you." And then he says, "But if you just shovel the ramp, then we could all get in at the same time." Right? So that's the concept of universal design. So we build ramps, and ramps are good. Like I know when I had my child, he was a baby so a long time ago. And I would have him in the stroller, I'd be going around the city. And when I would get to places that had steps, I would have to actually carry the stroller up the steps. Right. And that is really hard work. Like not everyone would be able to do that. And it's very dangerous too. If I had fallen, the baby would have got really injured and I would have got injured. So with the ramps, then it's a universal design so that everyone is going to benefit, right? So that's the concept, universal design. Great. So on to BuildABLE. So custom renovations, we do custom. Oh, I wanted to actually mention that we do accessible renovations, but we also do just custom renovations, like general renovations for homes. So we have two divisions at BuildABLE. Over the years, we've just had these because a lot of people actually do ask for other things, not just accessible design, but we can do both. Okay, so we design for your unique health and mobility needs and goals. And we kind of talk about budget when we meet with you, and it all kind of depends on the fixtures and what you're choosing to do in your home as to what the budget will be. And so we're trying to making your home accessible does not have to look like a hospital. That's our big tagline is that it doesn't have to, it can look very beautiful. Accessible design can be very, very beautiful. So you'll see coming up what we do. All right, so when somebody calls us, usually it's Sean, the elevator mechanic that I talked about, he's one of the owners, he'll be talking to you on the phone and he'll get a little bit of information of what you're thinking of, talk more questions. And then if you want him to come out and meet with you, then he'll actually come to your home. So the first thing he does when he gets to your home is he assesses the home entry, because we always say there's no really point in us fixing your house inside for doing the bathroom or even the kitchen or whatnot if the outside isn't safe to get in. So there's usually 2 or 3 steps to get into a home into a single family home. And so these are some options that we can do. So ramps, so they're made of wood or concrete, aluminum, can be installed in different configurations. But just to note that with the building code, we always follow building code and best practices. It's at least 1 to 12 slope. So for every 1 inch it rises to the doorway, the ramp must extend 12 inches outwards. So if you're talking like 2 or 3 steps usually up to the doorway, it could be a really large ramp. So this one here is pretty large, but I've seen even bigger than that. So just to be aware that, it can be pretty big. So we often actually recommend the vertical platform lift, which is to the right. So this is more space efficient. It's tinier, definitely. And it has guardrails, it's safe. It allows for independence and dignity. It eliminates the need for physical exertion to access higher levels. So like with a ramp there, if you're in a wheelchair, it takes a little bit of effort, right, to get up that ramp. But if you're in the vertical platform lift, you just press a button and it brings you up to your level. So that's one thing. But we recognize that not everyone needs a ramp or a vertical platform lift. So we always recommend, if you're not going to get these, is to get 2 handrails that I mentioned with the power grip going up each step. So that's very important, handrails. Okay, so like I mentioned, we do elevators. Sean loves elevators. He's an elevator mechanic. So you're in good hands with us if you're getting an elevator in your home. This actually is an elevator that is in Westboro. It's actually from a gentleman, sadly, he's a doctor, surgeon at one of the hospitals. And sadly, he had a brain injury, I think it was a brain aneurysm. So he became quadriplegic. So he actually he had just moved to this beautiful home. It's one of those really tall homes in Westboro. So we actually came in and we did this design and we put an elevator right through his home. So this actually goes to 4 floors. It goes into the garage. So he drives and he comes into the house and it goes up to each floor. And so we made this actually through their closet. So it looks like it's very, embedded into the home. It looks really natural and it looks very beautiful. So that's one of our elevators. All right. So bathroom safety. So this is where we do most of our work. We definitely have learned how to make accessible bathrooms very well. So we get a lot of business in the bathroom world. So 80% of senior falls happen in the bathroom due to slippery floors and surfaces, according to the National Institute of Aging. Injuries in or near the bathtub or shower account for 2/3 of emergency room visits, and 4 times more likely to occur getting out of the bathtub, the shower, than getting into it. So of course, that's because it's now you're all wet. There's water, it's misty, and that's when the falls occur. So when people are they have a bathtub often, and they are lifting their leg, and they're balancing on one foot, and they're trying to get over that, that big bathtub, right? So that's where we're seeing a lot of the falls, and that's when people are often breaking their hips, sadly. So yeah, so in this picture, this is the before and the after. This is actually a situation where it's a single mom and her son has a disability. He's in a wheelchair. So she needed this bathroom to be totally accessible. So this is barrier free. We do these all the time where there's no lip. So she can just take the wheelchair and roll right in and help him bathe and everything. And there's grab bars for her to hang on to. And yeah, so this is a very common that we do zero threshold showers. All right, so for those that don't necessarily want to invest in that much money, because it is going to cost more when we start dealing with the floor and dealing with all that side, and doing tiling, we actually offer shower conversions. So these are done in 2 to 5 days approximately, and I find like a lot of seniors often choose this option. So there are acrylic, composite, Crowell options that look like real tile and grout, but they're actually prefab systems that are installed quickly and super low maintenance. And I actually brought this is actually part of a wall. It's a sample. So it's from the National Acrylics. So this is the subway tile. This is one of the options that you could choose from, but you can see maybe in the other one that some don't have there's no markings. It's just like flat. So basically you choose which kind of background you want, like which wall you want. And these come in really, really big, like they're usually, 3 of them. And we're able to put them in really quickly. And that's what makes it very quick, because they're already there's no grout and all the work that goes involved. It's involved in tiling. So we often use this. And then of course we put in grab bars, which we'll go over a little bit about the grab bars in a second. But yeah, and there's a bit of a base. This one actually has a bit of a lip. It's about 2-inch lip, but it's much better than a really big bathtub, barrier. So this one is fast. It's good. Okay. All right. So sorry. Yeah, the grab bars. Okay. So then I want to talk about the grab bars. So why grab bars? So they provide points of control for safe transitions and movement in baths and showers. So 78% of injurious bathtub falls did not have a grab bar. So we always say, if you're going to do anything in terms of home modifications, we recommend at least getting the grab bars in the bathroom. At least, that's like the bare minimum. So I'll show you a little bit about them. And the grab bars are actually for everyone. Like my friend who's 45 just had a really bad fall in the shower because of course it's slippery, so anyone can fall. So grab bars are for everyone, anyone and everyone, all ages, all abilities. So I wanted to actually show you some of the grab bars. For those, you might, when you get out of the bathtub or out of the shower, if you find yourself holding onto the towel rack, which a lot of people do, and they're getting wobbly, it's because they're not usually meant for grab bars. But with Healthcraft, it's a company, it's a Canadian company. They actually make, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a grab bar here, and I put a towel on it just to show you. Like this actually holds up to like 500 pounds when it's installed properly. And it's very beautiful. They make beautiful grab bars that are 2-in-1, like they're multifunctional. So instead of having the towel rack that you have maybe right now that's falling out of the wall, that's a sign that you're holding on to things, trying to stay up, right? So this is a really good option. Like I said, it's very beautiful and it just looks like that. And then I also want to show you another one that they had. They have actually a lot of them, but these are just some of my favorite. This one here is actually a grab bar, and it goes in the corner. It's for the shower, and you put the shampoos, the shampoo holder. So you put the shampoo in there, and you're able to hold on. That is a grab bar. That's going to hold up to 500 pounds. So these are for the 8. This is where they go into the studs. They do actually have anchors that can actually be bought that will support up to 300 pounds. But if you put them into the studs, then it's 500 pounds of weight. So that's the capacity. And they're ADA compliant. So that's a really good one too. And then this is another one that I really, really like that you could use in your home. This one here. This is the toilet paper grab bar. So a lot of times people have issues getting up off the toilet seat, right? It's, you know, so this is a good thing that you can, it's decorative, and then put the toilet roll line, and then you're able to hold a bunch of this, and no one will even know it's a grab bar. So it does not look like the hospital at all, I don't find. Like, I think this is pretty beautiful. So yeah, so these are some just examples that you can do at home. Like, you could buy these on your own, or even, you know, there are like OMS, different like stores will have them. You could just install them or have one of their people install them. So yeah, and then this one here, like I showed before, it's just a decorative bar. Usually these are found like right at the front of the shower, and like when people are getting in to it, they hang on to that. So there we go. Okay, that's a couple of those. Alrighty, okay. Ta-da! So here's the final product. Beautiful. So this is a zero threshold shower. As you can see, it's with anti-slip. We do put anti-slip on the bottom. You can't even see it, but it's like this like sheet kind of that goes on. It's like a sticky thing, but you won't fall as easily, but it is invisible. So it's on there. But and then we have a right height toilet. So we elevate the toilet so it's a lot higher. We have a couple of cabinet makers and with BuildABLE. So they actually made this vanity actually. So we actually make a lot of vanities for people. So we custom make them. We build cabinets. And then yeah, so you'll see all the grab bars up there. There's even like and then the rain shower head. A lot of people like those, but the grab bars are there. Oh, and then the wall mounted bench. That's a really popular one because it almost makes it look like you're in like an oasis, like when you have like that really nice bamboo bench and yeah. So Healthcraft in Canada makes all of these things. So we often use their products. So we try to support local, because they're actually from Ottawa too, and Canadian products. So yeah.
Nice.
And this one, okay, actually, this is actually one of our like award-winning bathrooms. So this one here, it's a situation where the wife had a disability that needed like to be in a wheelchair, and then the husband, I think, still wanted to have a bath. So what they did was we actually took down one of the walls, like one of the bedrooms, and we made a really, really, really big custom bathroom for them. So we do all the design work ourselves also. We have a designer, and you know, we get architects and plumbers and electricians and you name it, carpenters, red seal carpenters, and yeah, so we designed it for them. So we always go in, find out who they are, what is their family makeup, what are they going to be using the bathroom for. So we try to make both of them obviously very happy. So he can still have a bath, and then she can have a shower safely. And it's a zero threshold floor. As you can see, there's no lip, there's no barrier there. And then there's going to be grab bars around, and yep. So that's that. Okay, and here's just a few other examples of beautiful bathrooms that we've done. So a lot of these look like they're all like zero threshold again. So again, you could there's no barrier at all. You could just have a wheelchair or just have no lips, so no chance of like tripping on anything. So that's what those ones are. We have a lot of them on our website too, if you want to see more. And oh yeah, and these are just some of the kitchens that we've done. So the brown kitchen there on the left, that's an example where a gentleman was in a car accident and sadly he became paraplegic. He lives at home with his brother. And so the brother is still able to, you know, use like a high level, like regular size shelf, but he wanted us to lower where the oven is. You can see it's like lower down because he really likes cooking. And then we got one that has the knobs in the front, so he's able to, you know, do his own cooking. He wouldn't be able to reach over to you know, turn on the stove. So yeah, so we did that for him, and then we kept the other one for his brother. And so we try to like look at the family composition and make it good for everyone. And the white one also has accessible features. Like you could pull out the cabinet, like some of the shelves, and then you could actually see all your pots and pans without having to go deep into, you know, like I have to go into the abyss to get my pots and pans. I have to go like right in and try to find things. Whereas these ones here, you actually pull out and they're really nicely strategically placed. and it's much easier and safer. So a lot of people like that feature. Yep. Okay. Now everyone always asks, are there tax credits or funding sources to help pay for some of these costs? Because we know, it's not super, cheap. So there are some options. The ones that I want to mention are the ones here. So the home accessibility tax credit, so the HATC, is a federal one. It's for those that are over 65 and older, and or qualify for the disability tax credit. So if you're that, then you would qualify. And then they actually just raised the amount to 20,000 a couple of years ago. So now it's up to 3,000 back, because it's 1.5%, I think, of the amount that you use. You have to go on the Government Canada website to see what what qualifies before you start deciding what you're going to do here. But that's one thing. And then the medical expense tax credit, of course, the client may have an eligible renovation that also qualifies as a medical expense. So you can actually claim both the METC and the HATC. So it's really great to kind of dip into both. The newest one, the big one, is the multi-generational home renovation tax credit. So this is for the renovating an eligible dwelling with a secondary unit that helps the qualifying individual, 65 or registered DTC, to live with a relative. You can claim up to 50,000 with a 15% tax credit, up to a max of 7,500 for every claim. So that's a big one. That one just came out, and we do actually make multi-gen homes. So if you want to live with a daughter or son or somebody, or vice versa, we can make these homes, like multi-generational homes. Okay, and then the disability tax credit, of course, that's a big one. We always say to try to get that one, because you can claim, again, all those tax credits with it. And then there's the Ontario Seniors Care at Home tax credit. So that's provincial. It's for low to moderate income seniors. And then there's the grants and loans. The Ontario Renovates program helps low income seniors and people with disabilities cover essential repairs and accessibility modifications. So up to 20,000, combination of forgivable loans and grant amounts. The City of Ottawa actually administers this program. And the Veterans Affairs Home Adaptation Policy. So we actually are a Veterans Independence Program provider. So we often work with the Veterans Affairs. And so they help pay for some of their modifications. Yeah, that's it.
All right. It's me again. So 3 steps to improve your balance to prevent falls. Any one of you, if you've ever seen any of our YouTube videos, or you follow us on Rogers TV, or you do a class with us for AIM Fitness, balance is always a portion of our exercise. We need to practice this every day. And again, it doesn't matter how old you are, your balance comes and goes. Every day could be different. There's many things that affect our balance. So what we do one day might be fantastic and then not so good the next day. Just if you have congestion in your head, if you have ear infection, our equilibrium is in our ears. So anything going on in your eardrums, if you have your hearing aids on, and just being able to hear where you are in space, your visual to see where you are in space, those are all related to balance. We need to spend about 10 to 15 minutes. They say every day. I think we all can do that every day. We like to, at AIM Fitness, say practice at a counter. So we're always either cooking, we're in the kitchen making coffee or tea, doing dishes. We're always in the kitchen doing something. Or you're in the bathroom where you're at a counter brushing your teeth, flossing. Maybe not flossing because you need 2 hands for that, but we're doing something where there's always a counter. And just standing, back up to you. Oh, you might not see me all, but when you're standing at a counter, just lift 1 foot and balance. It doesn't have to be for a long time. Just if you can do 10, 15 seconds, hold it, put that foot down, do the other side. If you can do that 2 or 3 times in the day, if you're at a desk and you're typing, stand up and just practice your balance. The best place I like to tell people to do it is when you go grocery shopping. We all have to go to the grocery store, and we all have a cart in front of us, and we all have to stand in line. Lines are everywhere. So when you're there, you have your cart in front of you. You can just kind of rest your hands on it and practice your balance. My big thing is snacking on exercise. You don't have to spend 45 minutes to do a whole routine. Break it up throughout the day while you're doing other things. If you're on the phone, if you're, I mean, I talk to my mom and she goes on and on and on. I love her to death, but I'm always doing something else at the same time. I have my earbuds in and I'm working, or I'm doing laundry, or I'm, cooking. I'm always trying to do something else at the same time. So while you're on the phone, if you're talking to your kids or your grandkids, balance, just stand up from the chair, go behind it and practice your balance. Nobody will even know you're doing it. And make it a habit. So like it says, every time you make a cup of coffee or tea, lift one foot off the floor, hold it. It's not hard. It's really not hard. It's just being aware and thinking about outside the box and stay accountable. So if you find that you are not the best for accountability or motivated, tag a friend. Have your neighbor be like, you know what? I really want to go for a walk. Will you be my walking buddy? And then you have that accountability. Now, you don't want to cancel on them. It's one thing if they cancel on you, but you don't want to cancel on them. So you're like, okay, every day after dinner, 6:30, let's meet outside. Let's go for a walk. Again, it doesn't have to be a huge hour-long walk, but you should be exercising about 30 minutes every day, getting your heart rate up. And you can do that easily by going for a walk. Remain active to reduce the risk. Strong bones and muscles, flexible joints, more energy. You'll sleep better. You'll have that fog will be lifted, and it's social. That's like the best. What more can you ask for? So there it is, exercise, engage in 150 minutes of vigorous physical activity every week. That's 30 minutes a day. Totally doable. Focus on strength and balance, endurance and flexibility. Walking, balance, aqua fitness is so good. It reduces any tension and the impact on your joints. Gardening, swimming. Swimming, actually, if you were to do laps, swimming takes all of your muscles in your body. You're using your arms, you're using your back, you're using your core, you're using your hips, you're using your legs. Everything is being used for swimming. Tai Chi, if you find that, you need something a little bit slower, but it's very controlled. It's not something that, even though it's slow, it's very controlled. Group fitness, YouTube, and there's always us in fitness. So you have to find out what motivates you to exercise. Find your why. Why do I want to become active? Why do I want to become healthy and flexible? Most people, that's the hardest thing to figure out. Why? Why do I want to do this? I had a client who was in his 90s. He's like, I don't want to do anything. I worked my whole life. He's like, I deserve to relax now. I'm like, you do, but you can find something that you can do that's still relaxing. It doesn't have to be work. Exercise is not always the funnest, but it is very important. So here's a couple, when I asked if you were flexible, I was talking about your hours. Don't you want to be like that? When you can get down with your grandkids on the floor and they're like, Grandma, what are you doing down here? And then you can hop back up and you don't have to say, okay, can someone help me? It's that independence. It gives you that flexibility in anything that you want to do. If you want to go and garden, you don't have to have all those raised beds. You can do it down. There's, the world is your oyster. Don't put yourself in a box because you think I'm older now, I can't do that. You could do it before. You might have to work a little bit harder, but you can still do it. Nutrition is also a very important factor in fitness. So if you're trying to lose weight, because you're like, you know what, I want to become more physical, but I'm having a hard time because I have extra weight on me. You lose weight in the kitchen. You won't lose weight by just running or exercising. It's what you put in your body you have to be careful about. Even nowadays, it's harder to go to the grocery store and know what's healthy. If your apples, you want to eat an apple, make sure you wash them because there's a wax on them that has the microplastics. We have so many things now that we have to put into consideration when we're eating, as opposed to what we did when we were younger. Like you could go anywhere and pick a carrot and you know it was going to be safe to eat. So just really, I push whole foods. If you know where it came from, it's probably good to eat. You know, if it comes in a package, in a box, in plastic, probably processed. Don't. That's not where you should be leaning. You know, think about your vegetables, your fruit, meat. Ugh, meat is a tough one now. There's a lot of controversy around meat. But do what feels good for you. If you are a person that eats meat and you need that protein, eat it. Just make sure you do your research and know where it comes from. That's all. If it comes from a factory and it is not really meat, maybe go to a chicken farm and get a chicken, a whole chicken, and do it that way, you know. Your water is also very important. As we age, we tend to not drink as much because we already go to the bathroom a lot during the day. So we want to kind of minimize that. But water is what your body runs on. You need to keep having your water. Ottawa, we've had that heat wave, like consistent week after week after week. We need to maintain that water. We're sweating, even though you don't feel it, you're losing water. So you need to replenish your body. If you find that eating heavy, especially in the summer when you're not really feeling like eating, just snack. You know, break down your big meal at dinner and bring it to lunchtime, and then have a little snack later on in the afternoon, in the evening, so you can sleep better, so your stomach is not fighting to digest while you're trying to go to bed. Avoid smoking, we all know that one, and minimize your caffeine. I can't say eliminate it because I live on caffeine, but minimize it. Try to just bring it down a little bit. If you're one of those people that has 4 coffees a day, drop it down to 2 and maybe not have it afternoon. You know, have it in the morning, but let it run its course through the day. All right, so we're gonna get down on the floor because we're running out of time. And I'm gonna show you, if you do fall, how to try to get up. Now, I do this very loosely because everyone has different needs, different abilities, different ailments. If you have knee issues, you might have to kneel on your knee for a second to get yourself up. It's the better option rather than leaving yourself laying on the floor, because you won't go through that little bit of pain to get up. So I'm going to tilt my computer now so you can see the floor. All right, so here's my floor. I have walked. Now I have a nice little mat. You probably won't have a mat when you fall, but we're going to use the mat today. I hope you guys can see. Maybe I'll bring it up here. All right, if you fall, so you fall on your, let's say you fall on your hip. You've fallen on your hip and you're on your side. So you're laying here and you're like, oh, I hurt, my hip hurts. I want you to try to get from this side position onto your back. So you're going to try to roll over so that you can get your feet planted on the floor and your arms are beside you. From here, I just want you to relax. Take a deep breath. Compose yourself. You are now having adrenaline rushing through your body. You have embarrassment if you're out and you've fallen in the public. You have a lot going on. So I want you just to sit here and take a couple of deep breaths and assess yourself. Wiggle your body, see if you've broken anything. Just kind of be like, okay, you know what? I fell, I hurt my hip, but it's not broken. I can try to get up, because we don't want to be here forever. We don't want to lie on the floor. So from here, if you're able to, you're going to use your arms and you're just going to put yourself into a sitting position. Okay, so all I did was use my arms to push myself up. All right, so now you're sitting here and you're like, okay, I'm going to put my legs out. Perfect. I'm going to wiggle them, make sure they're okay. So from here, you're going to try now to go back over onto your hands and knees. If you can't do that, that's fine. You could scoot yourself with your feet and your hands, and you can go over to where there's a chair, a bench. You know, I have my chair here, whatever you can do. I have my chair here. I've scooched over to it. I'm going to maybe slide my chair and put my hands on my chair. I'm going to use one leg and slide it through the other leg so that I can put weight on my foot and on my knee so that I'm now kneeling, at least on one spot. And you can kind of use your knee and your foot and kind of shuffle it over. With your hands on the chair, you're going to press up and use your feet and get yourself up. And then you can turn around and sit down. Okay. Again, we say and we do this because we are able-bodied. It's difficult if you're not, but you need to maintain composure in your mind and calm yourself down, because when we get frazzled, nothing works. Nothing is going to happen. But again, if you have knee issues, you kind of have to overcome that and get on your knees and support yourself with your hands and your feet to get up. Have someone call 911. If there are people, bystanders around, and they're like coming at you and they want to lift you up, don't be shy to say, give me a minute. I need to assess myself, because you don't know if they test you up and then they let go of you. Are you okay to stand? Are you supported enough? Are you okay? Are you dizzy? Do you have pain in your hip? Maybe that hip won't be able to support you right now. So just if a bystander says, let me help you, say, I appreciate it. I would love your help, but give me a minute. Okay. We don't advocate for ourselves for that. So we just need to be like, I appreciate it. Just give me a minute. I went through that pretty quick because we're running out of time. So let's get moving. That's what we want everyone to do. We're not going to get moving today, but I want you to start thinking about putting yourself in action. You know, have those weights beside you on the couch while you're watching TV and do your bicep curls, do an overhead press, do a lateral press. Anything is better than nothing. Okay, and that's the most important. And the best thing to do is start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Start today, because you'll only benefit from it. Yeah, so these are just some of the services. We are in-home personal trainers. We offer Zoom classes. We have a membership, online membership. We have YouTube channels. We're on Rogers TV. If you want to reach out, I know that Anton will send our information with the package that you'll get in the newsletter. You know, just if it's not through us, that's fine. Just get out and move. That's what we want.
Okay, and for BuildABLE, so all of our carpenters, everyone that we work with, we all have police record checks. So they look for make sure that they pass the vulnerable populations test. We're credited with Better Business Bureau. We're fully insured. So if anything happens, it's covered. We pay lots of money for insurance. WSIB also. We have GOBA and Rennermark approved for excellence. We have Rick Hansen Accessibility Professional Certification. And there's award-winning designs and services, including the City of Ottawa and Citizen Advocacy's Accessibility Award. So yeah, so the way it works is if you're interested, basically you give us a call or email us, and Sean, like I mentioned, the owner, will actually talk to you on the phone and talk a little bit about what you're looking for. And then if, you know, he'll give you an estimate of what that would cost, like maybe a ballpark. He can't give you an exact quote on the phone. He has to come and see it, and then he'd do the measurements. And then we have a designer, like I said, that can actually make the quote for you. So it's very professional quote. And yeah, and then if you want to proceed, then we come in and we demolish the bathroom, we take everything out or whatever it is that you're doing. We do all the work. You just tell us what you want and we'll bring all the materials to your house. You don't have to lift a finger. We do everything. We do this all the time. So yeah, we're pretty efficient. So yep, that's what that is. And okay, there I am. And there's our phone number and email. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So we had some questions, but I see, Catherine, you've kind of answered them. So thank you for typing the answers. So we are close to 11. So I think we'll just end off the webinar here. So I just have a few parting words. And 1 second. There you go. So thank you everyone for sticking around today and watching today's presentation. Thank you to Catherine and Michelle for the terrific session today. I mean, there was a ton of information, so I know our members got a lot out of it. And if you want to follow up with BuildABLE or with AIM Fitness, their contact information will be in the follow-up email, as well as the link to the recording of today's session, should you want to, watch it over and check any parts that you might have missed or you want to look over again. Finally, please remember that you can invite non-members to attend these webinars and try us out as guests. And we have some great webinars coming up starting in September. So please visit our website at NAFROttawa.com and you can see the webinars we have coming up and you can register for them. And we hope to see you at our next webinar. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.